Hello everyone, welcome to From the Star Wars Home Video Library. I'm your host Nathan P. Butler. This time we check out something that's a little bit of an oddball item, kind of ties into some of the stuff we've seen before. It's an item that I picked up through eBay thanks to Travis Cook from the Star Wars Home Video community pointing it out to me. We've looked at stuff before relating to THX. And when it comes to THX, basically what we have looked at here on this show at least has been those demo discs and the THX WOW demonstration laser disc in the past. And we talked about how THX is sort of like a process, but THX is sort of a technology and a certification. It's really just about having that accurate sound both in a theater and at home. Initially created as a way to basically say, okay, if this is the way that a filmmaker wants the film to look and wants the film to sound, we're going to make sure that certain theaters are certified such that we can say that they are going to reproduce it as intended. And then eventually, this also becomes something that's available for home use. So if you have THX certified material components for your home entertainment system, it should be reproducing the best possible sound, because in most cases we're talking about sound here as opposed to picture quality for that. And of course we have home videos with THX certification. They go through that process to make sure that they are looking the way they're supposed to, and so on. Well, just like those demo discs help to sell THX stuff, your salespeople need to know how to do it too, and that's where this comes in. This is THX, a guide to selling home THX products, which uses a lot of Star Wars, quite frankly, more than I actually expected. So it says THX up in the corner, exclusive inside, the funniest THX trailer ever made. Yes, it starts with the Simpsons one. Everybody blasted back in their seat, and then Grandpa, turn it up! And all that. That is on here. We have Lucas there with Empire playing in the background here. A guide to selling home THX products. Title there again, with, in this case, the THX logo. It says Lucasfilm with THX. Essentially the same on the other spine here. The back we'll look at in just a second, but it has text. Then it has a couple of shots, and then some captions actually with the shots, Lucasfilm THX, and your copyright date of 1995. Perfect timing, because of course this is when the THX remaster editions are coming out, which of course we know are essentially repackaged from the 1993 Definitive Collection. What does it say for itself? A guide to selling home THX products, hosted by Larry Cedar, C-E-D-A-R. Let the magic of home THX work for you. In less than 20 minutes, you will see, bullet points here, a simple sales scenario, how to market the THX story, answers to commonly asked questions, a step-by-step breakdown of the sales pitch. Continuing into regular paragraphs here, if you would like to attend a home THX dealer training or require additional information to support your sales efforts, please contact the THX marketing department at, and there's a phone number. As for the little captions, we have Lucasfilm Skywalker Ranch, where Academy Award-winning soundtracks are produced and home THX dealers come for training, and then Lucasfilm Limited, producer of the Star Wars and Indiana Jones films, has long been a leader in film technology. Then the label, Lucasfilm THX, a guide to selling home THX products, and then your copyright down underneath. Nothing there, just the regular printing on the cassette. Again, this is another one like some of the other stuff we've seen recently that I have not ripped myself. I'm not someone who wants to be the source of bootlegs, for example, but you can find this on YouTube if you just search it by the name, so you can watch the entire thing if you like. But again, it starts with the Simpsons THX opening, which I actually don't think is on the YouTube version, but it may be. So it goes into a sales scenario first. It's a point of view of the host, again, Larry, and the customer's voice is a Jawa voice, interestingly. But it's a sort of a pitch with the theater experience in the home, references to Lucasfilm and its films. They do a music configuration test using the Cantina Band music. Movie configuration using a clip from the film. Then we have how loud do you like it? As sort of a pitch question, giving them the remote. Talking about how it has superb clarity, wide spaciousness, and dialogue that is crystal clear. How does it work? Well, you have the controller to replicate the theater experience at home and amplifiers and speakers to reproduce multi-channel sound accurately. What type of room are you going to put it in? What would your budget be? Again, kind of going through the sales pitch here. And my favorite, which is very much kind of the end hook that gives a false choice or a choice that leaves out the obvious I don't want it option. So would you like to take it with you or have us deliver it and set it up today? As opposed to, or do you want to like not buy it today? Then there's a segment on the THX story and sales tips. So there's a clip of Lucas. That's kind of outline of it. But there's a clip of Lucas talking about how sound is 50% of the experience, which also includes talking about music and whatnot. They show the THX screening room and mixing stage at Skywalker Ranch briefly, and there's a lot of Star Wars clips throughout. When they do an FAQ section, basically, rather than having someone ask the question or just having this question show up on screen, it's a droid or an alien or someone from a Star Wars film making their unintelligible sound with a subtitle that is done as the question. They talk about not overdoing the technobabble and that the goal is the best movie theater sound in the home. The who behind THX is the experts at Lucasfilm Limited. The who manufactures it is various partners. And they talk about really wanting to drive home that it's Lucas. And then the FAQ includes a lot of stuff. The difference between Dolby Surround and THX, well, they aren't competitors. All THX products have Dolby decoders. Dolby is a pipeline that brings the theater sound into the home. Home THX is a playback system that handles the sound after it's being decoded by the Dolby processing circuit. The difference between lower and higher price systems. They say, well, THX certification ensures accurate reproduction. That's all it is. The various manufacturers will build THX into their systems at various price ranges and types of products, so it's THX regardless. You can tell I've got a lot of notes on this along with some of these previous ones, so I did not forget, because these are kind of oddball items we've been covering in these last few episodes. I heard THX isn't good for listening to music, which somehow has a question mark on it as an FAQ question instead of just being a statement. It said, no, it's a common myth. Music is integral to movies, so it's great, but you should play a demo for the customer to show them how. Doesn't Dolby AC3 replace THX? No, it's a different part of the chain from THX processing. They work side by side. Digital 5.1 has been in theaters for a while. THX is an easy path for an upgrade to 5.1 sound in the home. With 5.1, do you need all the same speakers? No, theaters use different speakers in their setups, yada, yada, yada. Does everything need to be THX to work? No, you'll still get benefits. It's just maximized benefits if everything is THX certified. Should only THX videos be played on a THX system? No. THX videos are high quality and the Laserdiscs are high quality because they were transferred using the THX quality control process to get the best possible quality, but anything can be played. And then lots of information about sales tips, which has a pretty big TV in the background, those big, this era 1990s televisions and those gigantic speakers that are like probably taller than me or pretty close. But he breaks down the scenario bit by bit. The preparation. Make sure that it works. Calibrate it. Know how to operate it. Have a complete selection of demo material, like the THX Wow Laserdisc handy. And rehearse your presentation, something I do not do, as you can tell. Get to know the customer, like what do they watch? And get to a demo as soon as possible to show them, not just tell them. Their phrase is demo or die. So what do they want to hear? Play some music first so it's not overshadowed by the other demos. But when you're doing music, turn the THX processing off. Be careful not to offend with what you use as your example clips or music. Be careful with the volume of it. And the demos should be short. And an explanation of the tech is provided because they assume that there may be some people who come to try to buy it who are going to need a sales pitch that's not about the quality but how it actually works. Some more tech-savvy folks, unlike me. Saying that you've got the Dolby Pro Logic or AC3 decoder first, and then it gets to the THX circuitry that handles re-equalization of left, right, and center. There's a subwoofer with good crossover from there to the rest of the speakers, and matching character of the front versus surround with timbre matching, and adaptive decorrelation to get closer to a theater's speaker array feel. And the THX speakers themselves are designed for a sharp front, even more throughout the room, and the subwoofer gives maximum and even bass. And the surround speakers are dipole, aimed not at you, but at the front and back of the room to give more of a holistic sound. Home THX is a team effort from all of the components. And so on. Maybe you made the sale. But they close talking about how, you really need to just meet the customer's needs. Do you know what they expect or want, what they want to play, what their budget is, and what room it's going to be in? If you know those things, you can tailor your pitch to sell them THX home stuff. And he leaves by donning a jacket, a fedora, and a whip. He leaves dressing himself in cosplay, basically, as Indiana Jones. It is a short little thing here, about 20 minutes or so, but I do find it interesting how much they weave Star Wars into the sales pitch, so I guess that should make sense. And Lucas and Lucasfilm into the sales pitch without getting kind of lost in that stuff, really kind of focusing on the system itself as well. And I do think it's really creative that they went with the music demo being the Cantina band, Jawas as the customers, and all the ways they use the clips of like droid talk or like Jabba speaking or whatever with subtitles as their FAQ questions. So if you're not into THX, I know there's this weird kind of thing where a lot of folks are into THX. I still want to understand that someday, that fandom. But even if you're not big into THX itself, if you're looking for an oddball item that includes Star Wars stuff, like a lot of those behind-the-scenes documentaries we've seen recently, yes, THX, a guide to selling home THX products from Lucasfilm, is another way to get some smattering of Star Wars amongst some unusual content here for your Star Wars home video library. With that, we'll wrap up this episode. Thank you for watching, and may the Force be with the viewers, because the audience is listening. Turn it on!